Now back to Inside West Virginia Politics with Mark Curtis.
And welcome back to Inside West Virginia Politics. This week we're looking at flood aid here in West Virginia. It's made a lot of headlines in recent weeks. Joining me right now is General James Hoyer. He's the Adjutant General of the West Virginia National Guard, the man in charge now of flood relief. General Hoyer, good to see you again.
Thank you, Mark.
Let's update our viewers. I know there's been a lot of confusion and a lot of numbers, but as of today, how many people have been helped since you guys have taken over the program?
So there are 22 homes, primarily mobile home units, that are in progress of being delivered to families in some form or fashion. That includes families that now have keys to a gentleman that I got word the other day that said he got the keys to his home and he feels like a millionaire. To folks that we still got the punch list on there that will turn over the keys once that punch list is done. We're down to 448 cases. There were some cases that we identified this past week that those folks had already been helped through the VOAD system that we have. Right. And on that side, we have 1,521 families out of 2,081 FEMA cases that have signed off that they have recovered. So we're still making good progress, but as I told my folks and as the governor and I've had multiple discussions, and he said, hey, General, until those 452 cases are closed, we're not successful. And that's absolutely the process by which we are going and the mindset that we have to take care of those folks. And
I want to underscore, we were out there over this past weekend with a family moving into one of these new homes, so we have some progress that we have been reporting as well too. Now I read that as of July 1st some of these construction contracts have expired. Should that be of concern to people out there? I mean, what are your crews doing right now?
So the way as you know, one of the crux of the issues that we had going in was how contracts were procured and those processes. I'm working with the governor's office, with the purchasing division, with the legislature and others to work through those processes. I still don't have, and we don't have, definitive answers on how we'll continue to move those forward, but people should realize that their progress is not going to stop completely unless something happens here over the next couple of days that I'm not aware of yet. And at the same time, we have other components to the program. This is not just a housing program. While the 452 families that need housing are our #1 priority, we also have a demolition program that we're putting in place to take hopefully about 750 additional structures out of communities that will help us improve property values, help us deal with some of the drug epidemic problems that we have in local communities. We've got an economic development component to this. We've got multifamily housing unit component to this. So there's a broad spectrum of things that we've got to continue to move forward with. And then, in addition to all that, Mark, there's another $106 million of HUD disaster recovery money specifically for mitigation projects that our congressional delegation has worked to get for us, and it's coming over the next 2 years, so we've got to put a plan in place for that as well.
Yeah, we talked to Senator Manchin. In fact, we broke that story a couple of weeks ago, that an additional $106 million on top of the $150 million that's already here from HUD. So I guess I just wanted to ask that to reassure folks that even though some of these contracts may have expired, that you guys have other work you're doing anyway, so you know, no one's sitting idly by here.
And I've got National Guardsmen that have plenty of work to do, preparatory work to make sure we can move housing forward. So we're continuing to move. I don't want anybody to get into a panic that we've stopped, and we're going to continue to drive forward.
Yeah, and obviously it's been well publicized. These problems started within the Department of Commerce running the RISE program. It wasn't the National Guard. You guys were kind of thrust into this to take over and fix it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. What the governor tasked me to do was to use the capabilities of the National Guard to bring some specific leadership, staff processes, management controls, the things that need to be in place both to move the program forward, but also to make sure that we're doing the program right.
All right, General James Hoyer, the Adjutant General of the West Virginia National Guard. Thanks for being with us today. Let's have you back in a couple of months and do another update.
Absolutely,
General.
I appreciate it, and appreciate all the work that the press has done to help us make sure that we get to the families that we need to serve.
All right, we're staying on it too. All right, we'll have more of Inside West Virginia Politics after this break. Stay with us.